right, thanks for joining me. This is Christy Hall at Living Well Nutrition. In my last video, I talked about a low inflammatory diet and why that is so important. There is a direct connection between inflammation and disease. In fact, there's a researcher at the University of Washington who's an inflammation expert, Rosanna Risk, I believe is her name, who said it has become clear that every stage of cancer development has inflammation as its driver. And same thing is true for coronary artery disease, heart disease, and diabetes. So it really is important for us to figure out what's driving inflammation in our lives and interrupt that process. Now, in my earlier video about the anti-inflammatory diet, I gave you really some good basics to go with. And there's a few other basics I'd like to throw in there that we didn't talk about. One is hydration. It's very important to be hydrated. And a lot of people are walking around in a chronic state of dehydration. And that actually can lead to pain and inflammation in the body because the body's not able to get rid of cellular debris with the kind of efficiency it needs when you're properly hydrated. Another basic that I didn't cover was exercise. Exercise on a regular basis. You don't have to run a marathon or be involved in as a triathlete, but it is important that you get moving every day. Move, go for walks, and then a couple of days a week do some strength training, and of course you can have a day of rest. But just that exercise, it changes the inflammatory patterns within our body. Really critical for you to do. Sometimes when we've had chronic inflammation in our body due to injury or other conditions maybe that we were not able to identify, we get caught in a kind of a circular pattern. It's a self-perpetuating pattern of inflammation. And just changing the diet or the hydration or moving isn't enough to actually put the flame out of inflammation, right? So think of inflammation like a campfire that's been really well built. It's gonna burn hot and it's gonna burn for a long time. So when we change our diet and our hydration and our exercise, we are not necessarily fueling that fire anymore, but we may not have been able to put the fire out. So there's some things that you can do to help put the fire out. And in the last video, we did talk about that ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats. The standard American diet is about 20-1, and we really want to focus on 3-1. So you can try to do that with a diet, but you can also supplement. And you can supplement for the omega-3s, you want EPA and DHA, about 1,000 milligrams a day for a maintenance dose for that. And with the GLA, that low inflammatory omega-6 that we talked about, you want about 500 milligrams a day of that. That's a good maintenance dose. If you do have a chronic inflammatory condition that you are trying to interrupt, you're in chronic pain, you can go higher with kind of the guidance of somebody that's been trained in orthomolecular medicine. I've been trained in that, so a lot of holistic nutritionists have that training. Functional medicine physicians, doctors have that training. I believe that functional chiropractors as well. Those would be good places to go to get good management over that therapeutic doses of anti-inflammatory and low inflammatory fats. So I hope that that helps you with this next phase of the anti-inflammatory approach to life. Thanks so much for joining me. To your health.